Well, welcome. In this short video, what I'd like to do is give you a short tour of StoryCare and show you how it works and how simple it is for your team leaders to use StoryCare and to make very quick changes in improve the performance of your teams. I've just logged into the StoryCare website. This is what they would see once they're given a username and password. And you'll see that the website has got lots of resources. I'll mention those in a moment. But the most important thing in the website here is the StoryCare library. And it's available in a desktop version as well as a mobile version. So this can be used with an iPad or any other mobile device. They don't have to use it from their computer, but if they want, they can use it from their computer. So if I click on the library, what you'll see right off is that the library is divided into three parts: StoryCare Essentials, Team Steps Tools, and Partnership for Patients. Let's look at the Essentials library real quickly. So you can see here first I would select by department. So I would select a department, let's just say critical care or intensive care. And I'm going to scroll down here. And then I want to look at the outcome. And each of these categories, each of these outcomes has multiple stories to select from. But let's say we'll just take patient safety culture for starters. And then within that, you'll see that I can have specific outcomes that are patient safety related. So communication openness, feedback and communication about error, frequency of event reports, hospital handoffs and transitions, all the way down to teamwork across and within hospital units. So let's say I looked at hospital handoffs and transitions, a place where often things break down and often there's an opportunity for error. So if I click on that, the system goes out and it goes and scours our library, and it has found quite a few stories that deal with handoffs and transitions. It's a big topic. It's an important topic. Let's say trust your instincts, cross-monitor. I'm going to click on that. And here what happens is there's all the resources are right here for the team leader. So there's an audio file, and all they have to do is click here on the little blue caret, which it turns red when you start playing the story, and it will stream the audio story that's been produced. You can hear an example of that story on your part of the website under the resources. There's a discussion guide that can guide the person in how to use StoryCare with their team. It has all the key features that are important. I'll just show you real quickly what that looks like. So there are learning outcomes. Every story has usually 3 questions associated for discussion. So after your team leader plays the story, then all they have to do is then ask 3 questions as part of a discussion for about 5 to 10 minutes. First of all, what can we learn from this story? And everyone will enter that story through their own perspective, through their own life experiences and professional experiences, and you'll be surprised at the kinds of insights your team will begin to have about their own behavior and own performance. Then there's always 2 other questions. The first is broader, more team-focused. What conditions, in this case, the story, what conditions exist that prevent our team from reporting patient safety events? And then finally, what's one thing you can do to improve voluntary reporting of patient safety or service events? And so now this gets focused on you, the individual, and looks at their performance. The team leader then rounds on that issue for the next 2 weeks. People come back together to see what they've learned. They listen to the story again, gather new insights, and then they're sent out to try different behaviors that other team members have been using. And then out of that, at the end of 4 weeks, they select one practice that they want to adopt as a team as their best practice, and then they move on. So let's go back to the story. There's always a handout that's associated with the story. We found that actually if the handout is printed and then handed out to people while they listen to the story, it has the printed version of the story. And we invite people to underline the things that was done well in the story, circle the things that were not done so well and that could lead to error. And we found that's a very powerful tool for engaging the staff. There's always a poster associated with the story, and I'll click on that. You can take a look at it, which the team leader can download, post up during that month as a reminder. So in this case, trust your instincts, cross-monitor. And there's usually often a little quote from the story. She picked up the phone and called. And we always have an image associated, a unique image associated with that. And then actually the same image can be used for wallpaper. Let's go back home. And we'll go back to our library just real quickly. I'll show you real quickly under Team Steps Tools. If I was to select a department, let's say Emergency Department, and if you're familiar with Team Steps, you know that there are a variety of tools related to being more effective as communicators and doing good teamwork. There's advocacy and assertion, cross-monitoring, S-bar, 2-challenge rule. I can select any one of these tools and find a story that's focused on my needs. We also have a category, Partnership for Patients. And as you know, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services is trying to reduce adverse events within the hospital. Once again, I can select a department, let's say ambulatory care, and then I can look at my outcomes. And these are all the outcomes that CMS is working on. So it could be injuries from falls and immobility. I select on that, and I discover that actually I have 2 stories right now in the library, actually more stories. I've got 3 or 4 stories that I can select from that actually deal with that issue. And so if that's a problem with your teams, they have a story that they can immediately begin working with to make changes and improvements. The other thing I want to show you about the library that's really very useful is that we believe in accountability, and you have to have a way of knowing, are your teams using it and what kind of results are they having? So you can see here is what we call the end of cycle progress report. And so your team leader at the end of the month, they can go in and fill in this report. It has all the key issues and questions about what happened with that story, who participated, day or night or weekend shifts, what were the outcomes that they targeted, what was the goal of the person who was leading that team, how much participation did they have? And then finally, in their own words, describe any reported or observed changes. And we're finding often within as few as 30 days, people change behaviors profoundly that can have a huge impact on safety and patient satisfaction. And then finally, lastly but not least, has your unit improved any key metrics as a result of the StoryCare cycle? For example, HCAHPS. Did you see a change in your scores? Or were there fewer patient safety reports? And obviously a place to explain what story you're planning to use for your next cycle, why. They can click send, and then whoever the team leader is in charge of StoryCare in your hospital immediately receives an email. And the good thing is they can get a supervisory report. You can see I just clicked up here in the upper right-hand corner, and I can get a report on everybody who's using StoryCare within my hospital, and I can track that over time and see who's doing well, who's not, and it's a great reporting feature. So that's the fundamentals of StoryCare here. There are a number of other wonderful features. There's lots of resources here for a team leader who wants to expand their knowledge. But fundamentally, it's simple, it's easy. It can be learned within an hour. Your team facilitators can learn how to use it quickly, and it doesn't require any special skills. And you'll find that your teams are going to get very quick results using this very simple tool. So thanks a lot, and contact us if you have any more questions.